four, three, two, one, go!
Yo, what's up, good people? Y'all know what time it is. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. You got the super team of sports talk here with y'all. I'm one half of it, Diego Barishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian. And I'm here with my main man, the partner in crime, the 6 foot and under post-up champ. Tell them who you are.
What's good people? It's your boy, Uncle Hate, the other A in AA Sports, here on a Thursday night doing our picks segment, recapping Week 12 and doing Week 13. It's almost over with, y'all. What's good?
Yes, sir. Week 13 picks coming up here in a second, as well as our Power 5, which for me, mine didn't really change too much from last week. I had a team drop out, but we'll get to that toward the end. It's going to be a quick hitting show. Again, it's the pick show. So we'll hit over that real quick. Let's first recap last week. Last week in our head-to-head, basically 1-1. I think we only had 2 games different. You got me on the Chargers-Cowboys at Thanksgiving game, and then I got even with the Cardinals pulling off that trap game upset over the Savages. So overall, last week we
Damn
both
you, Blake Bortles.
Overall we both went 13-3. So overall we are I'm 115-62, and you're 113-64. So again, people. That's about 50 games over 500, give or take. So, again, we're giving y'all winners. Middle of the season, it was kind of shaky there, especially for myself a couple of those weeks. But we're giving y'all solid last couple of weeks. Now, this week, we were just talking about it. It's a couple of games where coin.
I think this is a trap week for us, for our picks. This one of the weeks to where it's like, you should fuck with me, but I ain't really solid about it.
Right. You know, this may be one of them weeks. You know, if you didn't won some money the last couple weeks, you may want to stand pat this week and just hold tight and just watch and enjoy this week.
Just let it ride this week. Cause I don't know about some of these matchups, people. I don't know.
You know, a lot of people do them four game parlays. You know, you can pick most weeks. You can pick 4 solid games you think should go the way they should go. This week it might be tough. I mean, starting with tonight, let's just jump right on into it. Starting with tonight, I mean, you got the Redskins coming to the Cowboys. Cowboys have been bad the last probably 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Eventually, at some point, I'm figuring they got to win a game, right?
They ain't scored a touchdown in 10 quarters, I believe.
Right. And I pull, now that you mentioned that, I pulled Dak's numbers earlier today. Over the last 3 games, no touchdowns and 8 turnovers.
You know what I'm more interested in tonight than this game? I want Dez and Josh to fight.
Let them lock up. You want another Crabtree to lead?
I just want them to lock up, you know. But they should be homeboys now. They're doing commercials with Sprint, so it got to just be, you know, studio talk at this point.
Right. To me, I never saw that beef or rivalry or whatever on the level of Norman Odell.
I felt like Dez jumped on the bandwagon because Odell was getting all that shine with Josh. Because they ain't really had no problems. You
know, Dez still think he's the best receiver in the division.
Dez ain't even the best receiver on his team, I'm not sure of at this point. I think Cole Beasley might be the best one on their team right now.
I say other than him and Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, what are other receivers?
They got that one kid, Bryce or something?
Oh, Bryce Butler.
So, I mean, but they need to reshuffle their whole receiving core this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some speed, Dallas. Get some speed. I'm taking the Redskins in this game tonight, though, even though I just said eventually the Cowboys got to win. You know, I think Kirk Cousins will be able to do enough to go ahead and get the victory.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Redskins. Dallas don't have a running game. Jason Witten is older than us. Well, he's around our age. Yeah, I'm going to take the Redskins. Oh, speaking of which, before we jump off of them, did you see what they said about Cousins? That story that leaked today talking about they need last 5 games before they're sure if they want to pay him.
Word.
What can he do?
Like man, if I'm Curry, like, you know what?
I'm so gone.
Don't even worry about it.
You know, unless y'all throw that 35 at me and I got to play one more year. Otherwise, I'm so out. Like, deuces.
Pretty much.
All right, got the Redskins. What you got?
First of the 1 o'clock games. Potential game of the week candidate. Got the. I think I can call them red hot at this point. I think last week I didn't call them red hot, but they won again.
Yeah.
Julio had a big game, so we got the Falcons hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Again, another game that's going to go a long way into determining a lot of playoff positioning. Vikings on the roll right now. Case Keenum on the roll. Both teams are playing good right now. I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I've been picking them a lot more than usual this year, other than past years. But, I mean, they playing good right now, so I can't knock that. Devontae Freeman coming back. Now, what I think they got to do this game, because I know we talked about it earlier today or last night, but the Vikings pass rush is nasty.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to establish that run like they've been doing over the last couple of weeks with Tevin. Would you go with Tevin as a lead back, or now that Devontae's coming back in the fold, would you go back with him?
They got a tough situation on their hands because Tevin has looked good, but they paid Devontae. But you're coming off a concussion. Something's going to shake with that.
Second concussion.
This offseason?
That's the second one this year. I think that's why he was out for 2 games, because, you know, this is his second one this year.
I think I'd go with Tevin. He'd be the lead starting off.
Right. I think to eliminate some of that pass rush, or at least slow it down, you know, they got to do some screens, some draws, some stuff to sort of keep Minnesota honest. And I think, you know, with Tevin's speed, I think that's the way to go.
Let me ask you this: who do you think is a better all-around back between them two? It's kind of tough, ain't it?
It's a little tough. I think pass catching wise, they roughly about the same. I give a slight edge to Devontae running the ball, especially in between the tackles. But they almost kind of the same to me because, you know, keep in mind last year? You know, Tevin was the starter first, and then he got hurt.
Year before last.
He was the one that they picked to be the starter first, and Devontae was going to be the backup, and then Tevin got hurt, and so that kind of paved the way for Devontae to come in there and take over. And here we are today. We may almost go back to that, to Tevin.
Reason I asked, I love Tevin's burst, man.
Uh-huh.
He has a burst about him, and he will drop that shoulder on you too.
Right, that's a difference. So, you know, I like them both. Each one brings something to the table. So they got a good 2-headed monster right there. Now, what's going to be the problem eventually? They not going to pay Tevin, and they didn't already pay Devontae. So
they're going to have to trade him.
Exactly.
But anyway, I want to take Minnesota, but I'm going to go ahead and take Atlanta. I didn't realize that Trufant was still in the protocol.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can understand because, when he got hit last week by Keanu Neal, friendly fire, he didn't know where the hell he was.
No, he didn't. he had no idea.
He thought he had got smoked on the 9 route again.
And you know the funny thing is he's been balling the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This he looked the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take Atlanta. They're at home. I figure that crowd gonna be crazy. Minnesota go in here and win that game against that offense the way they're moving right now. That'd be a legit statement to me on the road. But I'm taking Atlanta.
All right, next up, got the Houston Texans going into Tennessee playing the Titans. Your boy Mariota ain't looked good the last couple weeks at all. Jadeveon Clowney is a monster on that defense.
They beat the shit out of them the first time they played, but the only thing is they had Deshaun Watson at the time. They put up like 50 on them. But now you got Tom Savage. So I'm going to take Tennessee because they're at home. That's probably it, because they're at home.
Right. You know, that, and even though Mariota has had his struggles over the last, couple weeks or whatever, we kind of talked about that either Tuesday show or last week's show about that offense not really having no continuity all season, pieces in and out. Mariota was hurt for a while. And I didn't check today. Rashard Matthews, I don't think he's practiced this week again.
So he playing this week, I believe. I think he I want to say he got some cap cleats. Because, this is the week they do all the special cleats.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's playing this week. But
I'm taking Tennessee.
One thing Tennessee need to go ahead and just come to grips with, Derrick Henry is better than DeMarco Murray right now.
I haven't watched many of their games recently, but, I had my eye on Derrick Henry at the start of the season. He hasn't gotten as much burn as I think he should have at this point. But he definitely the back of the future.
I mean, he's generating rush right now. They're not getting much of shit from DeMarco. DeMarco's basically the pass catching back at this point. But
I think DeMarco too is better at picking up blitzes and pass blocking. So that's probably why Derrick Henry is not getting as much many snaps as he could be if he was solid in that area. So we'll see how that goes. But you know how things go toward the end of the season. Right now, Tennessee's dead in the middle of a playoff hunt, so they start to lock some things up. Maybe they give Derrick Henry some more snaps, but they still kind of right there in the thick of the thing. So,
yes, sir.
All right, so we're both taking the Titans on that. Next up, this fucking game, I don't know. Chiefs going to New York to take on the Jets. I'm reluctantly going ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. Don't ask me why. I'm just going to go ahead and take them.
You got that. You wrote that pick down on toilet paper. It's flimsy. Mine the same way. I don't feel no confidence in that. And they're gonna win this. They better win this game.
The Chargers are on their ass. The Chargers and the Raiders are on their ass.
On their ass. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Chiefs.
All right. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos. Will be without Talib this week, of course, due to the suspension. Going down to Miami, take on. I think Jay Cutler should be back this week, right?
Jay Cutler's playing.
Okay. Take on Jay Cutler and the Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins.
I know I'm gonna live to regret this. I don't like nothing about Miami. I don't like nothing about Denver either. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Trevor Siemian in Denver. I'm going to go ahead and take them because I feel like Miami's really quit. It's like they're there, but they quit. So I'm going to take them. Denver, I've been calling for pride for 2-3 weeks now.
They ain't showed it yet.
I'm going to take them.
The Broncos are kind of like the Cowboys. Like at some point, you expect them to get a win. So we'll see. So, all right. So,
real quick, before I know you brought it to my attention when you said the Cowboys. Did you not call it a couple weeks ago? We were doing the show. You were talking about, when they put you on that pedestal, you got to be careful. You talking about Dak.
Right.
You see, they've been getting tested with him this week with them questions. He ain't really feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
You said it. I thought about you the other night. I said, I'd be damned if he said that the other week.
That's a whole different ball game. You're losing.
Whole different ball game.
So they're gonna try to right the ship and hold on for dear life until Zeke get back.
We'll see how this is gonna work. They're gonna take an L tonight. So
I swear, but I know hindsight's 2020, and we need to go ahead and move on. But he should have took them damn games up front.
He should have took that 6 early on. Should have just took and been done with it. But anyway, Jerry and them knew something. They figured he wasn't gonna get that whole 6. They were gonna cut it down to 4 too. That's why he told him to fight. Just didn't work out that way.
Okay. All right, so you got the Broncos, I got the Dolphins. Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts going into Jacksonville to take on them Savages. I don't trust anything going on with the Colts right now. Of course, the Jags got Blake Bortles. Again, I ain't gonna call him good, but I mean he's doing enough in most cases for them to win. It's like I say this every week. Every week is like he ain't that bad, he ain't that great. He doing enough, but you had a game like last week. Even though Arizona kind of controlled that game from the start. Well, I can't say that because I wasn't watching the game until the end. I was keeping up with the score, and they were up most of that game. And
they was in control.
Yeah, they let the Jags come back, and then Blake Bortles ran a couple touchdowns there late. Starting to think, okay, shit, he gonna pull them in. He gonna pull out a win. And then he threw the interception. So
that was a terrible interception too. Just a terrible one.
Well, but I'm gonna take the Jags at home. I'm gonna take them and them jacuzzis that they got up there in that stadium. I'm gonna take them.
We gotta take a trip down there, homie. That stadium's the shit. I got the Savages too.
We gotta go like in September when it's still hot though, so I can sit there with no shirt on.
Yes, sir.
All right, taking the Savages as well. Next up, Jameis Winston is gonna be back, coming in with the Bucs, going to Green Bay to take on the Packers. I'm not expecting the Packers to play like they did last week. I'm gonna take that as a aberration or a fluke how they played in Pittsburgh. Now, if they come out and do it again, hey, you proved me wrong. But I'm not gonna bank on it. I'm gonna go ahead and take Jameis and the Bucs.
I'm gonna tell you how bad. Oh, you taking Jameis? Okay. They want to win this game so bad because if they win it, and I'm saying Green Bay, they still keeping that light on for Aaron to come back.
Right.
If they lose, you might as well shut them down. So I'm gonna assume they're gonna get this done at home, and Jameis will probably throw 2 picks in this game. Well, he ain't had a good game this year, has he?
Maybe 1 or 2, but not nothing to write home about. They started off slow. They just really got on the street when he went out.
Right.
So
I'm gonna take Green Bay.
All right. I like what I saw from Brett Hundley last week, though. I definitely like that. And the backup was the third string, really. Jamal Williams, like running back, he played solid as well.
Because Pittsburgh didn't attempt to touch him on that run.
Yeah. Now, what I will say about the Bucs before we jump off this game, if they simply find a way to take away Devontae Adams, then I think they got I think they have a real shot because for some reason Hundley is not connecting with Jordy Nelson at all.
At all. It's Cobb and Adams. That's it.
So if they can find a way to take away Devontae Adams, they will cripple a good portion of the Packers' offense.
I didn't see him becoming the number 1 so fast, but he's pretty talented. He couldn't catch a ball the year before last, but he's got it together the last 2 years.
Yeah. And, Aaron Rodgers being out has a lot to do with his ascension.
Yeah.
So, the connection Jordy and Aaron got.
Yeah.
But with Aaron in there, they probably would have been passing a lot more anyway, so he probably still will get numbers.
Right.
All right. Next up, Detroit Lions coming into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens have kind of righted the ship a little bit. They right there in the thick of the playoff hunt. They play decent against the Texans. I expected more of a controlling win, but they won the game, so they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
I don't trust the Lions in some weeks. What you got on this game?
I don't trust the Lions. Matt Stafford's dealing with a sprained ankle, and that pass rush for the Ravens is legit. Man, shout out to T. Sizzle. That cat's 35, still getting it done. He got like 9.5 sacks this year at 35.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the Ravens.
Yeah,
I haven't seen much of shit from their offense, but I ain't seen a lot from Detroit's defense either. So.
Right, true. The Ravens, they running pretty well right now with Alex Collins. They got Danny Woodhead back. Woodhead, the first 2 games, hadn't had the impact I thought he would. But because they got to work him in. With Detroit, doesn't it seem like Matthew Stafford is always hurt? Yeah, he plays through it a lot, but it seems like he always nicked up.
Mm-hmm, he is. He's another one that likes to hold on to the ball. He's like Cam in that regard.
Way too long, and he ain't nowhere near as big as Cam.
Yeah. They just hold on to the ball. Matt goes through all his reads and comes back to him again.
Yeah.
You got to get that ball out your hands. You ain't dealing with a stellar offensive line.
Right. And one thing about Cam and another person that holds the ball a long time like Big Ben, they big dudes. They like 6'5", 6'6", 260. Matthew Stafford ain't that.
Right.
So I don't know how he does it. But he takes a lot of hits, and he's still out there. So you got to give him props for that. But I ain't picking him to win this game.
Nah.
Let's see. Next up, New England Patriots versus the Bills. I got the Patriots.
Patriots.
Okay. 49ers. My 49ers going to Chicago to take on the Bears. 2 garbage teams pretty much in the battle, for top draft pick positioning. It's going to be a homecoming for Jimmy Garoppolo, who will be starting the first game this week.
Yeah.
I'm taking my Niners, of course. When you got 2 teams that are equally garbage, I'm going to take my boys. So even though they're on the road, I think they'll be able to come in there and shut Mitchell Trubisky down.
This was a hard game to pick. It really was. I want to take y'all, but I'm gonna take Chicago on the strength of Jimmy ain't just practiced for a week. I need to pull up what the weather's looking like if it's gonna be windy and cold. But I'm gonna take Chicago. I mean, it's another one of them toss-up games.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago weather in December is going to be windy, cold, possibly raining or something. So the weather ain't going to be ideal.
You know what I think this game gonna be? It's gonna be a field goal contest.
That's possible. I know what they said. We're going to have to. Kyle said we're going to have to dumb the playbook down a little bit this week for Jimmy, which is fine.
That Bears defense plays good at home.
They do.
They don't travel well, but they play good at home.
They do. I'm looking for Carlos Hyde to be our main guy this week. Jimmy gonna need him.
Are y'all gonna re-sign him? Or y'all gonna draft Saquon Barkley and let him walk?
Well, Kyle came out this week and said that more or less they're pretty much gonna franchise him.
They're gonna franchise him. I'm talking about Carlos.
On Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. How old is that cat? Like 26, 25?
I mean, if that. I mean, he's still on his rookie deal, so he ain't been in the league that long.
Okay.
Probably his fourth year. This is his fourth year.
Okay.
So he'll probably be gone, is my guess. Even though he's been playing well, you can kind of already see the writing on the wall because the things that the front office was saying in the offseason. I don't think, even though we got the money to spend, I'm not sure they're going to do it for a running back. And we're going to be in a position to get somebody like Saquon. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not do it?
Yeah.
The only thing that I kind of hate about the NFL, in a sense, that's different from the NBA, NBA, when they know they're not going to get rid of when they know they're going to get rid of you and move on, they'll trade you and get some value. NFL, it ain't really none of that go on. They just simply release you or don't sign you and move on. So that's what I think is going to happen. And they also like the backup, Matt Breida.
Yeah, they do.
I also like him.
Yeah.
So I don't think Carlos would be there next year. I wish he would because I like him, but I don't think he's going to be there next year.
Dig.
All right, so I'm taking Niners. You got Bears on that one. Next up, LA Chargers hosting the Browns. I got the Chargers.
Chargers.
All right. Next up, got the Geno Smith / Davis Webb led Little Giants going into Oakland. Take on Beast Mode, Derek Carr, and the crab treeless, chainless Oakland Raider team. We don't need to go over this one either, do we?
You know what? I forgot. Cooper got hurt in that game too. Who the hell is he throwing the ball to?
That's a good question. I didn't think about that. Jackrabbit on IR though.
Right. So this could be a garbage game with a lot of points. I'm gonna take the Raiders though.
Yeah, me too. I'm taking the Raiders. Next up. Big game. Your boys, Carolina Panthers, going into New Orleans to take on the Saints. Saints coming off a loss. Now, last week, the Saints were without their two top starting cornerbacks. I'm not sure if that's going to still be the case this week. Even if it's not the case and if they have them back, I'm still going to go ahead and take y'all. Y'all play good when y'all go to New Orleans. I want to say y'all won the last 2 or 3 in there.
Yeah.
And Cam started a ride like 2 years ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he started that ride in the end zone. Yeah, I'm taking y'all in that game over this in a close game over the Saints.
I swear it's like we played better on the road this year than we have at home.
Yeah.
We won in New England. We won in Detroit. The big games have been on the road. They ain't really been – well, we won the Miami game on Monday night, but hell, we was playing Miami. I got to ride with them. This is a big game. We get to 9-3, and we in the driver's seat in that division.
That's big.
That's big, man. We got Minnesota next week, so I don't want to go on a loss and then head to Minnesota. So take Carolina.
I'm taking Carolina as well. Next up, we got the LA Rams going into Arizona, playing the Cardinals. Can the Cardinals pull off another trap game win? I think not. All right. The Sunday night game. Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. What are they, 10-1?
10-1.
10-1, going to take on the Seahawks. Everything says that the Eagles should win this game. I want to see how Carson Wentz deals with this Seattle crowd and that atmosphere, because we talked about it Tuesday, how some of their opponents have not been that great. So this is going to be the first, I think, volatile environment that they will be in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to go ahead and take the Eagles, But I wouldn't be surprised, if the Seahawks pull this game out. I don't know how they would do it, but, Seattle does crazy, strange shit, especially at night. So,
bruh, if Russell wouldn't have spotted Atlanta 14 points in the first quarter, they would have won that game. That defense, actually, when shit goes wrong, they tend to display pride, even if they're hurt. But they still gonna lose this game. I'm gonna take Philly.
All right, so we both got Philly there. And then last up, possible trap game, slight trap game possibility. Pittsburgh Steelers, who they're pretty hot right now, especially Antonio Brown, going into Cincinnati Bengals taking on that divisional foe. What you got there?
He better not carry his ass across the middle. Better keep all that to the sideline and them go routes. Because that boy Vontaze is in the middle waiting. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, and I think it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of them games. It's going to, like you said, ugly game, possibly field goal battle, low scoring, like AFC North December battle normally is.
This will be a Le'Veon game.
Yeah. I'm taking the Steelers as well. And that probably will eliminate the Bengals from the playoffs, even though I don't really think they, in my head, eliminated anyway. I know they mathematically in it. I think that will go ahead and eliminate them altogether.
Hey, you think them not making the playoffs would finally, motivate them to fire Marvin?
Nope.
One day. That needs to be a 30 for 30. What has Marvin Lewis have on the Cincinnati Bengals?
He's been there like 12 years.
12 years.
And how many playoff wins?
What, one, I think?
One or two?
I think one.
One? Yeah. I don't know. So, yeah.
And they ain't even no rumblings. That dude going to be there next year.
Hey, don't be surprised you get another extension.
Yeah, they gave Vontaze money while he was on suspension. So clearly, they're not featuring, the right thing to do. So
we'll talk about a team that needs to start maybe looking at another quarterback. Bengals.
The whole band will be back next year. All of them.
Just as it is, right?
All of them. If I was AJ Green, I'd take everything out of my locker. Everything. I'm going home. This is not working anymore.
Hey, man. It ain't going to happen. Jalen Ramsey told you what's up with AJ Green, man. He's soft, man. He ain't going to do nothing.
He weak. He weak. I told him that.
I told him after every play.
Jalen is fastly becoming one of my favorites. Fastly.
All right, so we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 games in a head-to-head this week, right?
Yeah, just 3.
Okay.
And they're all toss-ups.
Right. So they can go either way. All right. So before we get out of here, people, we're going to go ahead and drop a Power 5. You got your Power 5?
Yeah. You mean run mine off first? Cool.
Yeah.
I got Philly, Pittsburgh, New England, Minnesota, and New Orleans. You know what? That's wrong. That's wrong.
That last week's?
Nah, that's right. But I need to change that. I'm going to put the Rams at 5.
Okay.
Because they just come off a win against New Orleans. I can't have them above them because I had them at 6, but the Rams just beat them last week. So I got the Rams at 5.
Right, and I actually because I got Philly at 1, Pats at 2, Vikings at 3, Steelers 4, and the Rams 5. I dropped the Saints out. I had them actually at 2 last week, but I had to drop them out because they lost.
Yeah.
I had the Steelers at 3 last week. I moved them down a notch just for the fact I didn't like the way that they played for most of that game last week.
That was the second out the last 3 weeks that they slept walk through the game.
Right. And you shouldn't have got down 14-0 to the Packers, and it should not have taken a game clock expiring field goal to beat the Packers. So I had to drop them a spot just for that, even though they won.
I'm sure I don't mean to go. I don't like to do the racist stuff, but I'm really gonna be interested to see with Brett Hundley if that gets him paid like Mike Glennon got paid this past summer. I'm gonna be really interested to see that because Mike Glennon was trash. He hadn't started a game in when the last time he started? Before James got there?
I'll say, whenever Jameis, before Jameis got there. So,
that potential get the backup dudes paid. I'm interested to see if somebody would put something on him.
I mean, but has he shown enough though?
Shit, half these cats don't. What? How many games did Garoppolo? How many quarters he played last year? And people trying to throw first round picks.
I mean, yeah, very true. But at the same time, I haven't
seen them either. It's just I just know how this works, and I'm just interested to see. That's
I get what you're saying. But you talk about Garoppolo, Matt Flynn was another one.
Yeah.
Even though it was a small sample size, it was a positive small sample size to a certain degree. Yeah, I still wouldn't have personally paid them big money, but they had some positivity there for at least so them GMs can have an excuse. With Brett Hundley, I haven't really seen anything.
I mean, and truth be told, at the end of the day, it's not that many jobs out there, starting jobs to begin with.
There should be. There's a lot. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm saying at the end of this year, because you look at how many backups are starting at this point. Some of them are due to injury.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you know Savage ain't gonna be starting next year. You know Jacoby Brissett ain't gonna be starting next year. I don't know what they're gonna do in Arizona. I don't know what they're gonna do in Denver.
Right. So you got some spots. I mean, you talk about those two teams. Jaguars, what are they gonna do? The Bills, what are they gonna do? Who else? We never know what the Browns are going to do.
Don't know what the Browns are going to
do. Everybody else, I think, is pretty straight. The Chiefs will probably be going on to – one good thing that's happened, it's probably not good for Alex Smith, but for the Chiefs and going into next year, now that they have crashed and burned, it's a clear path for Mahomes, whereas if the Chiefs had kept rolling like they were rolling 5-0 the first couple weeks and went deep into the playoffs, then that may have made that decision a little bit harder to go away from Alex Smith next year.
Right.
But I think it's an easy decision at this point, though.
Yeah, and I know you told me 2 weeks ago they wouldn't touch him. If they lose this week.
No, yeah, and I'm saying now if they lose, 2 weeks ago it was like, okay, they're not going to keep losing. But at this point, yeah.
But even if they lose, they'll be tied for the division? Everybody will be tied. If they lose and the Chargers and the Raiders win, all three of them are tied. So would you sit him down while they're tied for a division lead?
I would definitely think about it. And the reason being, if they lose this week, that's going to put them at 6-6, I believe.
Yeah, 6-6.
Okay, they started 5-0.
Yeah.
and the way that they have lost these games the last couple of weeks, they're not putting up points.
At all. And
it's cold. And Alex Smith arm in the cold, we know what that equals. Even more check downs.
He got to feel stupid because this is the second time he done been in a situation like this with a young boy over his shoulder, ready to go.
With an arm.
Rocket for an arm.
Hey, I ain't got no – I mean, and one token, I kind of feel bad for him, and the second token, I don't because he got his money.
Remember we used to go to that gym? This is an old Diego and Hate story. We used to go to that gym, and that dude looked like R. Kelly. He sucked. He used to be on the sideline. What'd he say? You need to get in the gym, cuz. You're weak. Alex ain't lifting no weights. He got to do something.
Man, that dude, Alex got to be like 30 plus by now. 30, 31?
32, somewhere around there.
His arm ain't getting no stronger.
Hey, get on that shit. It works.
Hey.
If I had to save my job,
you better get some of that deer antler spray.
Hey.
By any means necessary.
Yes, sir.
All right, people. So we appreciate y'all. Again, we appreciate
real quick. We got to touch on before we get up out of here. We taking Georgia over Auburn, right?
Absolutely.
Wisconsin, Ohio State. Who you got?
I mean, I honestly have not watched either one of them in a couple weeks, but I'm going for Ohio State because I want chaos.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We're rooting for chaos this weekend.
I want chaos. So I want Ohio State. I want TCU, especially TCU to win.
That'll throw the whole thing off if they beat Oklahoma.
Everything. So that's what I'm rooting for this season. I think we're going to get back against Auburn. I don't think they're going to come to the A and beat us on virtually what should be a home game.
It's a home game, people.
So we're going to see good weekend of college football coming up. Somebody's going to be mad come Sunday.
I can't wait. Hell, if Miami finds a way to beat Clemson.
Yeah. And see, I'm not as convinced as what they keep saying that Miami win. They absolutely in. I'm not convinced.
Nah, they won't be in. I don't believe. Even if they win that game.
Right, not automatically. That's what I'm saying.
No.
I think he's gonna take another loss.
Right.
Especially if Georgia wins.
Right.
So I think 2 of those top 4 teams need to lose in order for Miami to get in as well. Well, if they beat Clemson, that would be 2. That would be one of them, and then Georgia would beat the other. So yeah, I guess they would be.
And meanwhile, Nick Saban sitting back doing the Birdman, just waiting.
If that committee fucks somebody over, either Ohio State or Miami for Alabama, boy, they're gonna never even hit the shit.
Yes, sir. All right, good people. Let's get up out of here. You can reach myself at ReK6000 on Twitter. Holla at me. I talk sports. Where can they find you at, homie?
Hey, man, you can find me at Diego Barish on Twitter. Also, don't forget to reach out to us on all our social media platforms at AA Sportscast. That's on Facebook, IG, and Twitter as well. And don't forget to keep tuning in to our shows, audio version on the go on the Spreaker app. It's Spreaker, Spreaker, AA Sportscast. Search for us, we there. And also on the YouTube channel, AA Sportscast, straight sports, no chaser, baby, we there. This is episode 68, baby, we rolling along. We're going to go check out the rest of this game, Skins versus Cowboys. And we'll holler at y'all next week, man. Y'all have a good week. Peace.